Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend D.G. Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes, or go to patreon.com/CapesandLunatics. Hope to see you there.
Diggity dank.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Nightwing News Shrike edition. Ugh. I am Phil. Joining me as always, it is.
Hi, I'm Kristen.
And this time, well, this is the second episode of the month, so you'll get your classic review. This time, Nightwing 56 through 58. No, not that 56 through 58. The one from 2001.
One from back in the day.
Yes, no. If we did the other 56 through 58, that would be Rick Grayson. No.
We've already done that, and we're not going back.
No. There's so much. Dick Grayson's been around for what, 80-some years? No, we don't need to go back to that era.
83, about to be 84.
Oh, that's right. You're the historian. When did Detective 38 come out? Do you remember, like, the month? Do you know what month it released?
I think they say March or April.
Okay. Oh, that'd be great if it was April. That's my birthday's in April. Yay. So it was April when they had the sensational find of 1940.
Probably it would come... No, wait, what is it with comics? They actually come out 2 months before the date on the cover.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's something like that.
It's just so confusing. I don't understand why they just don't.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't think you even think that's a comics thing. I think that's like a magazine thing too. I think magazines might do that too. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but it's weird.
I know. All right, but so yeah, I was gonna say I don't think we have any new news for Nightwing since we recorded last. Because
I would just like to say that I was reading the solicits for 111, which is in a couple months, and I'm stoked because the backup story has to do with the plague.
Oh.
It says something about the plague is ravaging 14th century Europe, and I was like, "What? Yeah!"
Boy, they are just pandering to you, Dick Grayson in the 14th century. It's like, jeez,
it's a good time to be alive.
Well, not with the plague, but I do like that cover with like Batman in the background. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, because so in the main story, Batman is going to appear because I think that's going to be the story where they try to deal with what happened. Remember when Dick froze?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They said something about like Dick's been having a problem. Can the world's greatest detective help him solve it? And then there's something about the plague. But that's a separate story.
So yeah, I did see that. Yeah, it's only the world.
I was like, yeah, plague.
You might. That's the first thing you go to. Oh, plague. I'm like, or you'd be like, oh, we're gonna get some good father-son time with Bruce and Dick. No, she goes right to the plague.
I mean, both were exciting, but the plague comes up much less often.
That's probably gonna be your favorite issue of the year, and it comes out early next year. It's like, yeah, Bruce and Dick together in the plague. I
mean, we'll see. If they do a terrible job with the plague, I'll hate it and be mad.
Or a bad job with Bruce acting like a jerk or something.
For real. Well, it's very confusing because I did read, which we should save it for next year once it's come out. Yeah. I did read what was it? Scorched Earth? Was that the last one?
I think so, yeah.
Of the
Batman
Catwoman war.
Yeah.
And Batman, he pulled his head out of his butt a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, but he still has Zur-En-Arrh running around in his head and stuff, so, yeah.
Right, and it kind of seems like does he know it, but he just won't admit it? Or what's the deal with that? Or is it like Zur-En-Arrh doesn't want him to know?
He knows. It's a Bruce thing. He don't want to admit it. Bruce is the one who created Zur-En-Arrh as like a backup in his own head where it's like, oh, if I ever need to be taken down, who can take me down? Oh, myself.
Alright, okay.
Yeah. It's pretty much, I think it's Zur-En-Arrh is basically Batman without a Bruce Wayne influence and, Because even in earlier, I think it was a backup in one of the earlier issues, they showed back in the day, Zur-En-Arr's whispering in his ear, oh, come on, we can kill the Joker. Come on,
because, I think in Scorched Earth, Dick is like, or maybe it was one of the, but he says something about, like, you're not, on your game. And I think he says something about Zur-En-Ar.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, no, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if it was that he didn't know or he just didn't want to.
Oh, no, Bruce knows. A few of them know, yeah. Because... yeah, there was one, he's completely out, we'll get to it next year, but he's like completely out of control, and Dick's the one who shuts everything down, like all, like, he's like, you don't have access to the computer, you don't have access to this.
Yeah, I think it was 138.
No. Well, spoilers at the end of that, if you read Scorched Earth, it's, basically Bruce leaves, and he's basically like, he can't be around the family anymore, he basically says, like, you and Barbara are in charge.
Yeah.
So...
which is why it'll be interesting to see what goes on in Nightwing, if it's kind of like, separate sort of things.
Yeah, because basically the only one who took Bruce's side was Damian, so.
Right, and at first it didn't really make sense because it was like, why would they all be like, yeah, stealing? But then when you realize Bruce was going off the rails with this Zur-En-Ar, what he did to Jason was ridiculous. That's
yeah.
terrible.
Oh, I know. I'm like, we don't need to damage that character anymore. Jason doesn't need that. We were kind of rehabilitating Jason, and now we're throwing more monkey wrenches in there.
Well, I think he's supposed to get a mini-series or something, so.
Yeah, I think so. Come on. Making it all going. Bad characters are popular.
Hopefully he'll get fixed.
Yes. All right. Do you want to get to these issues? I think...
let's do it.
All right. I know at least for the first one. I think for all of them, they're synopses. All right.
This is much less depressing.
Yes. Nightwing number 56 is the first one from June 2001. Stalked. Writer Chuck Dixon. Penciler Greg Land. Inker Drew Grassi. Colorist Patricia Mulvihill. And Digital Chameleon. Letterer Willie Schubert. And editor Michael Wright. All right. Remember where we left off 2 months ago, kids. Shrike is eager to take on Nightwing and explains to Blockbuster that he has a history with the Vigilante dating back to the time when he was Batman's sidekick Robin. Black Canary visits Oracle and surprises Dick Grayson as he steps out of the bathroom after showering. Feeling a little embarrassed, yeah, right, a little, Dick quickly puts on his clothes and leaves. Dinah fires questions at Barbara, who insists that nothing happened, but later the two women work out and Barbara tells Dinah how her relationship with Nightwing has evolved, and she has a huge crush on him. While Nightwing drives back to Bloodhaven, Torque continues to elaborate his escape plan from Lockhaven Penitentiary with Kristen's favorite, Tad Ryerstad. At least, at least they kept him to a minimum, so he wasn't too bad this time. Yes. Torque has set his sights on the guard, who is also known as Amygdala. He is super strong and needs medication to control his emotions, which Torque wants to take advantage of. After doing a shift at the police station, Dick gets some sleep before going on a patrol as Nightwing. Right in the city center, he runs right into a setup and has to face a group of 4 ninjas. Dick easily defeats them, but Shrike observed the fight and then catches Nightwing using a net. Shrike reveals himself and calls Nightwing both Robin and Freddy. Dick remembers a man named Shrike, but he is supposed to be dead. He's supposed to be dead. Which, of course, we covered in Robin Year 1, which I think that was like episode 20-something, so scroll way down, kids. All right.
But as we looked before, these, kind of came out around this.
Yeah.
Just, Robin Year 1 came out just, right before, I guess.
Yeah. But, yes, we covered this on the podcast a while ago. I think it might even been 2020. All right, so what do you think of this first one?
That was good.
Oh, yeah. And we get the whole bathroom incident, and I'm trying to remember. I mean, she might have said it to Dick before, but I think this is the first time we've seen Barbara actually tell another person. It's like, oh yeah, I care for how much she feels about Dick and stuff. And then Shrike, he's like, yeah, I'll take down Nightwing for you. He's like, but I'll take the $5 million. And a Blockbuster's like, well, good. He's like, I want to deal with a professional, not some psycho. The bad guys. But yeah, that's not even in that. It's like he threaded fish hooks through there. So, although I guess Nightwing's mostly covered, so not too bad. But yeah. And the Greg Land art is good in this. especially Nightwing jumping from building to building. Just seeing if we missed anything.
Okay, I will say that this is so random, but it came into my head on page 20 where he's beating the guys up and he says, I might even pop a sweat. I've never heard that phrase before. I've always heard it as break a sweat.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but...
I guess obviously I could figure it out, but I thought, I've never heard that one before.
And only in the Bat books, it's like, oh yeah, there's a bunch of ninjas on a rooftop. That's not unusual. It's another night in Bloodhaven.
Another night, another ninja.
Exactly. All right. So, yeah, pretty good setup. Should we get to the next one?
Yep.
All right. Nightwing 57 from July 2001. Yesterday Never Dies. Yeah, really changing up the art team here. Say Rick Leonardi does the pencils, and then Jesse Delperdang and Mark Farmer are inkers on this one.
I like the first page.
Oh,
where he's Robin and does the cartwheel, and then he's Nightwing, and then Nightwing again. Disco Wing, and then Nightwing. They left out the one I liked the least, so that was awesome.
Maybe someone else's least favorite too.
I mean, it's obviously the worst one.
And again, I mean, they almost look a little similar, except just without the collar on the one you hate and stuff. So I mean, at least they put the more superior one there.
Disco all the way, baby.
Exactly. Shrike has Nightwing chained, unmasked, and hanging upside down. Dick now remembers his captor by the name of Boone, who was the hench boy of the original Shrike.
I'm sorry, does it really say hench boy?
It does say hench boy. Well, he wasn't a man yet, so what do you want to call him?
I know, but that's so funny.
All right, that's a great term, hench boy.
Hench boy.
Bring me my torture tools, hench boy. Boone took Dick's fingerprints in hopes that his true identity will also lead him to the secret identity of Batman. To make things worse, the ninjas accompanying Shrike search through Dick's outfit and find a love letter which Barbara secretly put there. But then Dick's costume sends out an electrical charge which knocks out the ninjas. While Shrike is gone, Dick hopes to somehow free himself from the chains. Meanwhile, Barbara is woken up by an alarm signal indicating that someone is running fingerprints on a Bat family member, in this case, Nightwing. She has prepared false identities, but first she slows down the search process. Afterwards, Oracle and Black Canary, who is a current guest at the Watchtower as well, take the Hummer to drive to the last transmitted location of Nightwing. Dick himself has improved his situation a little bit, and when the ninjas wake up, he starts to fight them despite still being chained. When Shrike comes back from his computer, which gave him the name Chester Honeywell, Nightwing is free and ready to battle him, but Shrike has more ninjas at his side. At the same time, in Lockhaven Penitentiary, Torque is visiting a doctor because of alleged neck problems. Then Tad Ryerstad fakes a seizure so that Torque is able to take a quick look at the current pharmacy index. Oracle and Black Canary have arrived at Nightwing's last position and they find his transmitter. Looking at an abandoned pump house nearby, Dinah sees a chance that Nightwing was taken there. All right. So I know it's for comedic value, but I'm like, shouldn't you? I don't know. Shouldn't Shrike or Boone or whatever we're calling him realize it's like, yeah, Chester Honeywell sounds like a made up name.
I mean, yeah, that's why it's so funny. I mean,
although I'm guessing he's just not. He hasn't put two and two together and like, oh well, they have a way to fool the computer. It's just like, oh no, I hacked into whatever, and yeah, that's his name.
Or even if he thinks it's fake, like, I mean, how are you gonna get the real one? But I love that fake name because I know a lot of people think Dick Richard is a terrible name, but Richard is an amazing name compared to Chester.
Yes, yeah.
Chester is so much worse.
Well, they're both kind of. I mean, we're not Richard so much, but I was gonna say like Chester's like a old-fashioned name.
I mean, Richard's pretty old-fashioned.
Yeah, but I think you see more.
I mean, it depends on the group. I mean, in the United States, there are not a lot of Richards, although more black men named Richard than white men named Richard. Like, if you meet a white guy named Richard, he's old.
I was gonna say,
like a British person, they could.
Yeah.
It might not be.
And there's a chance you might see some like young Richards these days. I don't think you're finding anyone under 50, 60 who's named Chester in this country at this point?
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, I mean, sorry if anyone's any young people out there named Chester, but yeah, it seems like strikes me as an old name.
Yes, for sure. Speaking of Chester, I always remember because my mom said once when she was younger, someone mentioned the president Chester A. Arthur, and she was like, "No way, that's such a terrible name. No way we had a president named Chester." They were like, "Yeah, we did." And she was like, "Ugh, terrible."
Say it worse than Dwight?
Yeah, because there was that character Dwight on The Office.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I feel like Dwight probably has a cult following now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, people love The Office. Yeah, The Office is awesome.
There was no one named Chester on The Office.
Yeah,
so.
true.
Actually, there was a guy named Chester on Law & Order SVU.
Oh, yeah.
But was that his last name?
No, I think it might have been his first name, I think. Although he didn't last long, so maybe it was the name.
His last name was definitely not Honeywell, though.
No, that's true. But the way Dick gets out of these chains, I mean, it's like swing himself up and kind of like drop himself on the beam.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I will say so one thing that is interesting to me, and I don't really know what I want the answer to be, I just find it worth commenting on, is how DC can never decide whether the Robins are famous enough that people would recognize them or not, because sometimes, remember when Dick was Batman, there was that one where somebody saw him at the gym or whatever, and they were like, who wouldn't recognize Gotham's Paris Hilton or something like that?
What's so funny, I don't know if you ever saw like the animated version of Under the Red Hood, like in the comic, it's the story when they first revealed Jason's back as the Red Hood. In the animated version, it's so funny when Nightwing first shows up, there's like two hoods sitting there and they're like, who's that? And the other hood's like, oh, that's Nightwing. He was the original Robin. I'm like, how would some street thug know this? Unless everyone knows this.
Maybe they could just figure it out.
It was just exposition to fill in any audience member, but I'm just like, that's...
Well, there's the thing, which, I mean, I didn't actually watch Justice League Unlimited because I was in my kind of like not superhero phase then, but I've seen the meme, and it really makes sense where Lex Luthor gets transported into Flash's body in one of the episodes, so he's like, well, let's see who I am, and he takes the mask off, and he's like, I have no idea who this is.
Yeah, and it's Wally. He's in Wally's body, yeah.
Right, yeah, and that's so funny and so perfect. Mm-hmm. And that does make sense, particularly because why would Lex Luthor know Wally? Because Lex Luthor lives in Metropolis, and
Wally's not famous. Yeah, Wally's not Bruce Wayne.
Right, and Wally's not famous. But that's what I always find interesting with the Bat is, of course, yes, Bruce Wayne, but they never seem to fully decide if they think people. Yeah. It's like when it's convenient, people are like, "Oh, you're Gotham's Paris Hilton. Of course, I'd recognize you." But when it's not convenient, they're like, "Oh, we don't know what you look like." I find that interesting. Yeah, I mean, I can understand it more with, say, Jason, because of course he died and was gone, and I mean, I guess it's like he grew up,
and he wasn't around as long as any of the other ones. Yeah.
Well, right, and I mean, he stopped being in the Eye when he was a teenager, and then the Pit,
he grew, yeah.
I guess the Pit, made him age to where he would have been if he hadn't died, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So, yeah, it makes sense that people maybe, because, I mean, as far as they know, Jason Todd is dead, so why would you think, oh, that's Jason Todd? But it seems like with Dick and Tim... it's like, I mean, I don't know if I think they should be recognizable or not. It's just interesting to me that they're not consistent.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the only times it made sense is when Dick was Batman, when everyone thought Bruce was dead, because I would assume Dick was in the public eye then, because they're like, oh, he's except for like maybe Damien, oh, he's inheriting everything of Bruce Wayne's and stuff. So I could see that, all the media being focused on him at that point.
Yeah. Well, obviously he's not famous enough for Shrike to know who he is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right, because the mask is off. Yeah. That's the thing that gets me is any story where people can't make that leap, where someone either finds out who Dick is or who Bruce is, and they can't figure out who the other one is. I'm like, really? Especially, you know.
That's why the Lego Batman movie is so amazing, because they totally make fun of that. Batman is Bruce Wayne's roommate?
Well, that's why the Grant Morrison, when he came out with Batman Incorporated, I mean, that was like a brilliant thing because, you know, Bruce went public and says, oh, yeah, I fund Batman. You know, I give him the money for all this stuff. So if anyone could drive it back, it's just like, oh, no, I just pay him. No.
Yeah, but I've seen some funny, I've definitely seen some funny skits where I saw a funny skit where these kids were sitting around having it was years ago. It might have been on crack.com. They were having a sleepover and they were like, oh, guys, Bruce Wayne is Batman. And then the cops show up. Commissioner Gordon shows up and he's like, because we need you to keep this quiet or whatever. And the kids are like, okay. And then afterwards, Gordon's talking to other cops and they're like, oh my God, those kids must be so stupid. I can't believe it took them until they were 15 to figure it out.
What story was it? Oh, there was some comic somewhere. I can't remember where I saw it, but there's a story where someone gets into the Batcave and they see all, you know, Batman stuff and they're like, oh man, that rich guy Bruce Wayne must have a weird fetish. He must come down here and dress like Batman and pretend to be Batman instead or something.
That's funny.
All right.
Anyway, yes. My favorite thing was definitely Chester.
Yes.
Because that cracked me up. Also, I love how Babs has a Hummer, because that is so 2001.
Well, yeah, Dinah pointed out, you know, just to carry like all the computer equipment and stuff. Yeah.
Right, but I also feel like if this would have been written a couple of years earlier, it wouldn't be a Hummer. And of course, if you wrote it now, I wouldn't be a Hummer. I don't know what it would be. It would probably be something else, but I feel like the early 2000s, that was kind of right around when Hummers first started being available to regular people.
Yeah.
So it was like a thing.
And again, too, it's a subtle way to kind of have a Batmobile, but, you know, not be that noticeable back then.
Right, like that one in the very first one we forgot to talk about where Nightwing's driving his car home and the guy's like, what? And gawking at the window, he's like, oh, whoops.
Oh, yeah, because he gets dark in the windows, yeah.
Or whatever, yeah. That was pretty good.
All right, should we get to the last one?
Yep.
All right, Nightwing 58, August 2001, A World of Hate. Chuck Dixon, Mike Lilly penciler, yeah, I think we're back to the original team here from issue 1. Finally, Nightwing and Shrike take on each other one-on-one, but as they are surrounded by Shrike's ninja henchmen, the odds are stacked against Nightwing. During the fight, Shrike also mentions an additional motivation. To really earn the name Shrike, he thinks he has to kill the former Boy Wonder. When Shrike has his blade on Dick's throat, Black Canary interferes after using one of her cry bombs. She grabs Nightwing and informs Oracle that her boyfriend is all right. At Lockhaven Penitentiary, Torque approaches a man named Chili Vasquez, who is known to be able to smuggle illegal substances into the prison. Torque tells Vasquez that he needs an antihistamine called Arcatin. Meanwhile, Nightwing and Black Canary are running through the old pump house, but Shrike is able to catch up. He puts a chain around Canary's neck and connects the other end to one of the old pumps that he just activated. Now Nightwing has to fight Shrike, but the clock is ticking before Dinah gets strangled to death. Oracle also entered the building and rolls right into the Ninja Warriors, but the thugs quickly learn that they should not mess with the woman in the wheelchair as they get electrocuted once again. In the end, Nightwing is able to defeat Shrike and save Black Canary as well. Completely exhausted, Dick passes out, and when he wakes up the next day, he finds himself in the Watchtower and receives a warm welcome back kiss from Barbara.
I would like to say when you read that summary, again, very thorough, but if they can call Shrike a hench boy, they really miss an opportunity to call those guys hench ninjas.
Yes, it's a ninja henchman. Yeah, it should be hench ninjas is even better than hench boy. Yeah, there's so many ninjas in comics. Yeah, that should become a term, hench ninja.
So it's a step up from just being a regular henchman.
Mm-hmm.
Charge more.
You had to practice, get a couple belts. I mean, come on.
Like when you work in fast food and you're opener or a closer, you get more per hour. Like if I'm a hench ninja, I expect my base rate of pay to be higher.
Oh, true. Well, maybe that's why Shrike just calls them henchmen, so he doesn't have to pay him as much.
Maybe that's why he needed $5 million.
Oh, and
French ninjas aren't cheap.
That's true. That's exactly. All right. I don't know if I should. I don't want to pick too much, but it's just like that love letter that Barbara wrote him. I'm like, well, since when does Barbara's like my dearest darling? I'm like, when does she talk? When does she ever call him that? I'm like, it seemed overly.
Well, maybe
flowery.
that's why she had to write it down because she felt self-conscious.
Wow. I was gonna say. I mean, it doesn't seem. They usually don't seem that flowery with speech wise with each other and stuff. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I think maybe that's why she had to write it down.
I guess. And again, just to drive the point home that they knew this was like from his lover, and it wasn't just like, wasn't like a note from mom or something.
So wait, what's up with, I thought Black Canary could, like, she did the canary cry from her voice.
Usually she can. There was a period here of a few years, like she had gotten injured. I think it's the Green Arrow Longbow Hunters, but she does get injured for a while, and she can't use her voice like that. So I guess she was using like technology to like simulate it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They had. I think it was like I said. I think it lasted a couple of years where she like her throat. She got an injury and she couldn't use her throat that way.
Oh, okay. I like Follow Me, Junior Batman.
But yeah, I mean that was a pretty good high stakes fight at the end because Dick's trying to like ward off Shrike. Meanwhile, he has to keep Dinah from getting like pulled into that pump and stuff.
Right. Well, I also like this quote because it just, even though we knew Shrike was a total douchebag, don't you ever fight your own battles, Chester? You have to have a woman save your butt. I was like, I can't wait to see this asshole go down. Which is exactly how Dinah reacted. He's like, I'm going to enjoy kicking your head off.
I think, it's like, if you didn't hate him enough, here's another reason, kids.
Just like those hench ninjas that are like, we're going to get this cripple. She's like, cripple my butt.
Oh, well, I think she say like, cripple my butt. Yeah, because
I'm sorry, that was Barbara. But
yeah, that is funny. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, they get electrocuted twice in this story.
Right.
Oh yeah, in the beginning of this one.
I hope those hench ninjas learned something.
Mm-hmm. And we see how well Dick's trained because in the beginning of this, he's using like the ninjas' weapons. Like he has nunchucks at one point and using their own weapons against them. Oh yeah, the stupid prison scene where they're trying to get that antihistamine. To give to amygdala.
Which that doesn't happen. That's going to happen next. Right?
Yeah. It's kind of coming up here. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, like I guess you kind of had to do the chain scene because it's like Dick could take down Shrike alone. Dick and Black Canary. Yeah, no, Shrike would not have a chance. Chance.
Well, I think it's also nice. I mean, I don't know. People prefer what they prefer, and that's fine. I guess I like it when other people are in Dick's book because he gets along so well with other people.
Oh, yeah.
He's such a personable guy that I don't mind it when other people show up in his book and he gets help because I feel like that's being sensible. Yeah. And that's what a smart person would do is accept help when it's offered. I know one of the criticisms some people had when Tom Taylor a little while ago, they were like, since Dick's friends keep showing up to help him out, I feel like Tom Taylor's writing him as not as competent. And I was like, I feel like if your friends want to come hang out and you want to bust some heads together, why not? That seems fun. So I guess. Yeah, and if Dick's it depends on what you like, but I liked it that Barbara and Dinah came to help him, and that Dick was like, "Thanks."
Oh yeah, I enjoy anyone teaming up with Nightwing more than like Batman.
That it wasn't like no metas in my city or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Batman, my favorite character.
And again, it's so funny because I think we got like a different penciler each issue of this arc, and it's so funny because it's like it's kind of foreshadowing what's to come because it was Rick Leonardi in the second issue, which he was on Devon's run, and then this one's Mike Lilly, who was later in Devon's run, after Blockbuster blows up the building and
although they all did a good job of kind of having a somewhat similar style. I mean, you could tell that it was different, but it wasn't.
It wasn't completely
so the way you sometimes get.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. Yeah, I just thought it was funny because it was kind of giving you a little sneak peek of what was going to come even like a year or two down the road.
I will say though that on the last page, the Band-Aids they have over Dick's cut, shouldn't the Band-Aid be more over the actual cut itself?
I see that. I think it's more just to hold like. Or
maybe those are stitches.
Well, I know there's stitches underneath. I think those ones are just
okay.
kind of just like keep it, trying to keep the cut from like the stitches from popping or whatever.
Back open, yeah. I suppose so.
But no, yeah, Dick saves Black Canary, and then he passes out, and then Barbara and her bring him home. But no, I do like that scene. Yeah, when Dick, just jumps, he's like, "I got to do this now," and yeah, he snaps that chain that was, holding Black Canary, and then he's just like, "Wait here," and then he just like kicks Shrike's butt. But yeah, no, overall, I mean, I wish we'd see more of this. I think that's one of the fail. Besides like Blockbuster and a few, I don't know, maybe a few other ones. It's like, do we ever did Dick have his own rogues that like last? I mean, we had like Raptor for a while that he really didn't last, or was.
Yeah, not really. I feel like that's kind of been the issue with most of the Bat Family offshoots is they don't tend to have as good a rogues.
I think
although the other problem somewhat is though, as soon as a rogue becomes good, and people are like, "That's a good rogue," then they become more of a Batman or Superman rogue or something. Because I mean, Deathstroke was a Teen Titans rogue, and he was particularly obsessed with Dick. So Deathstroke is really a Teen Titans Dick rogue, but because Deathstroke became popular, sometimes they wrote him as facing Batman.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. Once a character gets too popular, yeah, they start fighting everybody. But yeah, I think it's the whole like legacy character thing, because I know like even Wally for the longest time, once he became the Flash, he didn't have like rogues that like a lot of reoccurring rogues, because it's like when Barry first died, like all his rogues either died or retired. It was like years before they brought back like Captain Cold and all those classic rogues.
Yeah,
because yeah, I think
it's partially because Batman in particular has really good.
Oh yeah.
Like, he has some of the best. I mean, I know for so long Superman was the flagship of, but particularly I feel like as people have become more interested in villains, that has helped elevate Batman, because his villains are definitely of a better look. I mean, Lex Luthor is a very good villain, and honestly, it's like Lex Luthor has become scarier as we progressed into late stage capitalism.
Oh yeah.
Because Lex Luthor was just like, a rich guy, but now I'm like, oh my god, Lex Luthor is like, all of these people in the real world are basically becoming Lex Luthor.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, aside from that, I can like barely name another Superman.
Yeah, I mean, back in the pre-crisis, Lex Luthor was just like an evil, like a mad scientist, But then once they rebooted, John Byrne made him the evil rich guy, and it became way too close to reality.
Yeah, so now I'm like, okay, Lex Luthor is definitely terrifying because he's real.
Yeah. Well, that's like me and Lilith have talked about before. It's like almost like, I mean, you can't do it now, but it's like Lex is almost like Bruce's opposite, He's another rich guy, but he kind of, he's like the opposite side of the coin. But yeah. So, I mean, oh God, that's the other problem. Superman. It's like they either do Lex or Brainiac or General Zod or Doomsday.
I mean, I know he has other ones.
I mean, we could stay here all night naming Batman rogues. And name me anyone. I mean, I know Sony's trying with Spider-Man, but name me anyone else who has their rogues get their own movies.
Batman.
Yeah, just Spider-Man because Venom, I guess.
But I mean, Joker gets his own movie. I mean, they've been trying with Harley Quinn with Suicide Squad and then Birds of Prey. I mean, so that's the thing. If it's something. That's the other problem. Villains get too popular, and then they try to make them almost like anti-heroes, like they did with Harley.
Right. Yeah. And it's okay with Harley since she's newer and she does have that, but they need to stop with Joker. He's just a villain. Same thing. I've seen people talk about it with Disney, and yeah, That's like Disney. We don't need. I mean, like, I thought the Cruella movie was fine and interesting, and Maleficent was fine, but at the same time, like, I didn't really need those. Like, I also enjoyed them as they were just bad people.
Well, I was gonna say, how do you feel about that? Where like now it seems like it doesn't matter who it is, what company it is. That now every villain needs a tragic backstory, like they had like a bad childhood or something. And I'm like, can't you just enjoy? Sometimes it's just like, oh yeah, this person's a bad person because they're an a-hole.
Right, yes.
I see giving some people like a tragic back, like Mr. Freeze or something, but it's like not everybody needs that.
Right. Yes. I really think it's just a way to make money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, sometimes it's kind of annoying because like it's nice, particularly when it's something like a Disney or superheroes. It's nice to have a good villain that you're like, this person is bad, and we know they're bad, and we just appreciate that they're bad.
Oh yeah, because that's the other thing. I think it's in February or something. Like Chip Zdarsky's writing the Batman book right now. Supposedly he's going to be doing like a definitive Joker origin. I'm like, we don't need that.
Yes, I saw it, and I was like, really? I feel like I don't need that.
Yeah, nothing says chaos like a very finely detailed origin. No, the killing joke was fine when the joke, they kind of laid out an origin. Alan Moore laid out an origin, but it's like Joker's like, I remember it different every day. So it's like, is that the origin? I don't know.
Right.
Even I don't know.
Sometimes it's nice to have mystery so that you can have your own headcanon or whatever.
Again, it's money, Like I said, the characters get too popular, and then Joker.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, Maleficent was fine, the movie, but I mean, when I watch Sleeping Beauty, I'm also just like, yeah, Maleficent, man, she's bad.
Exactly. And Joker 2 is going to be a musical. What?
I cannot wait to see that because that's going to be so wild.
If you like that, that's fine. But I'm like, I think a lot of the people who went to see, enjoyed the first Joker movie. I'm like, I don't know if that's their target audience, a musical. I don't know.
See, I think it's genius in a money-making sense because so many people are going to go see it because they'll be like, what the F is this?
Yeah.
And because like, that's why I want to see it because I'm like, this is either going to be a train wreck, and so it'll be funny for that, or if they manage to pull it off, I'll be way impressed that they managed to pull it off. So I think it's going to make tons of money because people are going to be like, this is so weird. How can I not go?
I guess, yeah, because even if people complain about it, like, oh, I got to see this. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, I mean, it's like so weird that you can't,
you can't look away.
Exactly. It's like a train wreck.
Uh-huh.
It's a dumpster fire. You can't turn your eyes away.
Exactly. I think I said it's probably going to be a dumpster fire. All right. Anything else on these issues?
No, not on these issues. But I will say in terms of like establishing other characters and stuff for Dick, I know people... and like he wasn't Nightwing, so I thought they did a good job with Grayson with what they had to do. Mm-hmm. But overall, Dick doesn't like totally make sense as a spy. As people said, that would have maybe been better for Jason or something. But I did think that Grayson did a very nice job of establishing side characters, particularly Tiger. Tiger is super sweet, and bringing Grayson in. Like with Midnighter, I know Midnighter was not invented for Grayson, but bringing those in and giving him some more characters, that was awesome.
Yeah, no, it kind of works because it's like Dick was like kind of like a reluctant spy. Jason probably would have been too into the, oh yeah, I get to pull my gun and shoot someone. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, no. Again.
Sometimes I felt like things were a little bit overly complicated in Grayson.
Oh, yeah.
But they did get some good characters in there, and I would enjoy Midnighter and Tiger popping up more.
Oh, yeah. And again, Tim Seeley is another good Nightwing writer, so. Or should I say Dick Grayson writer? Yes.
And Helena. Although I don't know. Isn't she in Birds of Prey?
Not the current. There's a new version of Birds of Prey. Yeah. No, so. Not.
She was cool.
Yeah, she was in Detective for a while. Yeah, I don't know where she's at now. All right, kids. Only 2 more episodes of Nightwing news this year.
Wow. Yeah. Year is.
Yep.
November's almost over. The year is flying by.
That's right. All right. So, yes. So, after your next 2 weeks, you'll get your Electric Mullet episodes and then come back here And the first episode will be, again, once, of course, our new issue reviews, Nightwing 109, Titan 6, World's Finest Teen Titan 6, and I think we'll have 2 issues of Beast World by then, so I guess we'll be in the Beast War by then. And then the final episode of the year, we'll keep it more hopeful because yes, I scheduled us some Dick Grayson, Robin team up with Superman issues from Legends of the DC Universe number 6 and DC Comics Presents 31 and 58. Which I believe...
I hope those are on DC Universe Infinite.
They are.
Okay, good.
Yes. Before I put them down, I'm like, are these on the app? Yes, they are.
Awesome!
The 2 DC Comics Presents issues are funny because it's like 2 different stories, but I think they both take place at a circus.
Oh, okay. I do know which ones you're talking. So these are not like super recent. These are from like the 80s, maybe?
The DC Comics Presents, those 2 are from the 80s? Yeah.
Okay. I think I do actually have those in paper copy.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, the DC Comics Presents was like every month Superman teamed up with somebody, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. I do know those ones. Yeah. Okay. But then the Legends of the DC Universe, that one's more modern.
That's like, that's probably like late 90s or early 2000s, yeah. But they told a lot of like flashback stories, so. All right, kids. So, yes. So, send us your thoughts on all of that. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find all things Capes and Lunatics, episodes, social media, merchandise, even a link to the Patreon. Please subscribe to our Patreon. Shout out to Ray, Russell, Justin, and Moz, our patrons. But find everything at tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. All right. And remember, kids, the holidays are just around the corner. Like a month away. Christmas is less than a month away, kids. So,
that's crazy.
Do you have a superhero fan in your life, a fan of just reading in your life, then you must go on Amazon, because I know you know how to get the Amazon, kids. Pick up Dick Grayson, Boy Wonder. Again, if you're a fan of the character, this is where you complete your knowledge. I guarantee you there's at least one thing in here you did not know about Dick Grayson. So, at least one. I'm sure there's multiple things you didn't know about Dick Grayson in that. So, yes, pick up Dick Grayson, Boy Wonder on Amazon. Again, make an educator's holiday a little brighter. So, pick up Dick Grayson, Boy Wonder. All right. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Again, you'll get your electric mullet the next 2 weeks, and then we'll be back for new issue reviews, including Beast World. And then what? And some Robin and Superman. Dick's fun uncle instead of his cranky dad.
True.
Oh, that's a scene we need. Like a scene of Dick Grayson, Dick when he was Robin, calling Superman Uncle Superman, and Batman like, don't do that. Mark Wade, you can give that to us. All right, kids, come back next time. Remember, join us same wing time.
Same wing channel.
Nightwing News. Say hi to Chester for me.